Fortune and Strife features subjects which can be uncomfortable for a general audience, such as the use of drugs and alcohol, poor treatment of people of different classes or cultures, adult situations, psychological trauma, deprivation, survival, natural disasters, and violence. Listener discretion advised. In addition, these next few episodes of the show contain cultural and historical content based upon the peoples of Asia and the Far East. We are coming at this from a place of respect and genuine interest and a love of these cultures, places, and history. We may not get it 100% right all the time, and we ask you to bear with us and give us the benefit of the doubt, and we would let us know when we get it wrong. We want to be an ally in dispelling Orientalism that has affected the Asian and Middle Eastern communities around the world. Welcome to Fortune and Strife. I am Robert, or Bayoshi Shinichi, and I'll be your host and narrator.
I am Jeanne, and I am playing Doji Gen.
I am Tyler, and I am playing Akoto Ricci. Let's play some L5R in the Burning Sands.
A few moments after Hayate had hit the floor and Ricci had gone out to call for someone to aid, the alchemist and doctor that had been coming to check in on the guests of the Emir, a Asil El Samara, comes and starts to look after Hayate. You see him checking eyes and the body for convulsions and other tremors throughout that he is going through at the moment. They get him back up into his bed and settle down, and soon through a weight of several blankets, despite the heat, the tremors seem to fully subside, and the doctor excuses himself to go and retrieve some additional elixirs and solves to hopefully uh, lessen the symptoms that Hayate is suffering and bring him around sooner than later. And with that, it leaves the three of you, Sueno, Gen, and Ricci, in Ricci and Hayate's room, surrounding your friend, watching him recover and rest. And it gives you a rare moment of uh, peace and seclusion from the rest of the Emir's household. So you can finally, connect with each other once again.
Gen will go on a patrol of the room while Ricci is doing his own checks of Hayate to make sure that there's no one else around and no one listening. Just prowl around the edges, just make sure, shut the door, that sort of thing.
Yeah, excellent. Do you want to do anything else other than those standard little bits to hopefully make sure that no one's listening? Do you want to try to do anything to muffle any sounds or whatnot besides just closed doors and closed windows?
Just what I can do very quickly, because I don't know how much time we have. So
Sure, that's fair. Then I won't have you make a check for that. Then, yeah, you go ahead and make sure that it's as secluded and as secure as it can be in a quick pass through. But yeah, it's luckily the walls here are more than paper thin like they are back home, and you think with just some quiet voices like you would be around anyone who you're trying to make sure can still rest and not be woken by your speaking shouldn't be overheard or thought suspicious of by anyone kind of wandering around nearby.
Hurry over to the bed. Is Hayate conscious? I look to Ricci. How's he doing?
He seems to be doing well. This is not something that was quite covered in my training personally. Tremors are a strange affliction, but again, this is not something I would normally see on the battlefield, so it was not something that was really taught to me. But he does look to be well.
It's not unknown in my clan. Hayate-san? Hayate-san? Are you alright?
And he just kind of has some very faint kind of murmured moans. He's very much asleep at the moment.
Okay.
Kind of beyond you at the moment. You could try to rest him awake if you like, but it might take more than just a few words.
Okay. I'll turn to Richie. You can talk to him when you want in privacy. I won't wake him now. I mean, I don't know if I could, but
It is best to let someone rest after something like that.
but I needed to talk to you, and we don't get much chance to talk without our guardians keeping an eye on us. I don't know if you've noticed that.
That's true.
I have
Oh, very
tried
much
at the
so.
gates, and I have been looking around and trying to understand the currents of this keep, this palace. And I think they do not have much intention of letting us go anytime soon.
I don't believe so either.
But it seems to me we might be a prize to them in some fashion.
That's what it feels like to me as well. Almost like we're on display as opposed to proper guests.
I think that given where we are, I don't see us being able to climb over the walls or anything like that without... That's not my ability. I don't see us trying to scrap for a living off the streets, but we have to get out of the palace if we're going to find a way back. The only
Agreed.
way that I can see us doing that is to use the fact that they seem to want us to be prized items in their court to try and win some sway or influence among the members of the court in order to start winning some favors to gain more freedom of the city. If we had more freedom of the city, we might be able to meet up with the unicorn or someone else who can help us get back to Rokugan. I knew you were at Kudenmatsu. I do not know how well you are familiar with the courts, and this one is very unfamiliar.
The courts have never been my strong suit. I at least know how to stay polite, and I know how to say yes and no in the right ways that won't offend someone. That's about as the experiences I've got. It never really stuck with me.
When you grow up in the House of Doji, it is something that is taught you from early childhood, especially given the role my parents played in the court. For, as you know, they were arrangers for winter courts for the Crane to set up their quarters and their delegations and help make plans each year ahead of the winter courts. I think in this presentation, we can start by just trying to win influence as best we can. My hope is to make you the shining star of the court. I chuckled a little bit.
That's a very bold move.
Someone must shine, so someone else may work in the shadows. And you seem more inclined to shine than work in the shadows.
That is fair.
So I will do what I can, and we can meet on the side and make better plans. I have a gift. I will present it for you, or we'll try and present it for you. You can focus on being observant and being polite, and we'll just try and figure out who the players are in this kabuki, and maybe find out who among them might need such services as we might offer, and enhance our influence in that way in any contests of the court that come up. And maybe that will be enough to win some small freedom from the palace.
Well, I have learned one thing about that, being more of a military mind. I've learned that there might be a bit of a power struggle within the court itself, as there always is, but in this regard, over the
Oh,
military.
really?
You recall the emir that escorted us into the city, correct? The one whose
And
house we're
of
staying at.
course.
Well, come to find out that he's actively looking to pursue a command of the military of his own. And that might not be something that would go amiss for us.
That is interesting. I wonder what the military commander of this place has to say about that, or some of the others.
Generally, when someone has a command of their own, they don't like to lose it under any circumstance.
No, they don't. However, the emir seems to be the one who's holding us the most, so he may have the biggest incentive to keep us.
That is true. He does seem to have the most external reach, though, so he might be our best bet, but also the hardest one to get to.
Yes, especially since he's not here. That is certainly one track. We can see what else. Maybe that is some information that we can sell dearly, or maybe we can find other things out that people might want to know or advance their cause that could win us a little bit more sway. Anyway, we can talk more on this later, but you'll let Hayate know.
Of course.
It isn't long after that until the doctor returns again to tend to his patient. Asil El Samra goes ahead and ushers you all out and says that he will be with you shortly once he goes ahead and makes sure that Hayate will be just fine. And yeah, in another hour or so, Hayate seems to have come around, and he is now sitting up in his bed when the doctor calls for Ricci to come and for his examination. And the doctor starts to kind of look you over very quickly and clinically, and he sees that that you are fit, not stressed in any way. That things seem to be going very well for you. That for someone who is kind of just braved a treacherous bout through the desert, you have come through relatively unscathed.
And I'll give him a curt bow and show of respect of, professional courtesy kind of deal.
Nice.
And I will start to say the small phrases that I have learned, such as good afternoon, how are you today?
Very nice. Yeah, and he kind of nods along, and he kind of gives you back the perfunctory kind of small talk banter that you've come to expect from everyone else that you've kind of interacted with in that way in the Emir's household here. But yeah, you also cannot help but be a bit curious as you kind of look over as he goes through his bag, and he has a set of bottles set out that he helped Hayate with. Um, these are just all sorts of new sights, sounds, and especially smells that you are not used to from the medical arts in Rokugan.
Yeah, I kind of peer over and not hiding it at all, just kind of looking over at the bottles and just kind of getting like one of those like kind of side leans over and just like what is that kind of deal, not saying anything but just kind of clearly the curious look.
The doctor will kind of notice, and at first he kind of wants to keep you from messing with any of his stuff, and kind of shoos you away, and kind of puts things farther away from you. But the more you kind of look around, he kind of finally turns to you and offers you up one of his small glass bottles to you if you'd like to take a closer look. And he kind of motions towards Hayate and makes a motion of, to a sipping motion, and kind of then like this motion of like jolting awake, like he had used this somehow to bring him back around, as it were.
Okay. If it's got a stopper on it, I'll pull it out and just kind of take a quick whiff of it.
Mm-hmm. And it is of a very strong, bitter liquid that you are not familiar with in any way. And he kind of smiles and nods at that, and kind of, even with your lack of Kamarist vocabulary, you could pick up the words of yes, it's very strong.
And I'll kind of like I'll put the stopper back on, just shake my head, and yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. And he kind of then kind of opens up more of his bag for you to take a look in if you'd like to. As he's kind of now done with you, but kind of starts to walk back over to Hayate, who is still kind of very, very tired and, um, should we say, lethargic or spent, as he's laying there in bed. And the doctor starts to go over him once more, and he goes to check the pulse and other things like that, and is making different things, but things that you've picked up already from your time in the Emir's camp when you were dealing with one of the medics there, kind of like the ways that the Kamaras check vitals and go over things.
Yeah, so I'll keep looking at some of these bottles, but I'm keeping my eye to make sure that nothing untoward is happening to Hayate.
Oh yeah, no, nothing untoward is happening. In fact, a seal kind of beckons you over and kind of wants you to kind of get your opinion on things. It seems like, as he kind of offers up Hayate's arm to you to kind of take a look at, and possibly also check pulse and things like that.
Okay. At which point I'll go ahead and do just the basic like triage rundown that a medic would do.
Excellent. Um, so yeah, you pick up that his pulse is slow but steady. That he is in a bit of a mental fog after everything that went on, but that he is able to kind of respond to you as you're talking with him. But he is a little slow, as if maybe he had had something to drink, but obviously he hasn't had anything for quite some time. But altogether, he seems like he will be all right, even if he is kind of just kind of out of phase right now.
Okay.
Yeah, you would consider it to be an imbalance of air right now within him.
Makes sense. Okay. So with that, with the imbalance of air, I'll go ahead and start looking through my medicine bag
Okay.
and start pulling out some of the herbs that I would have to help kind of rejuvenate a little bit more of air energy within him.
There you go. Excellent. Why don't you go ahead and make me a TN2 medicine check?
I would say medicine water, just like I'm doing first aid.
I think so. Yeah, water would be fine. Yeah, I think so, because you're kind of like going over and kind of surveying the patient and looking to see what'll be the best situation for this. Yeah, let's treat it like a first aid check then.
Perfect. I have a water of 3 and a medicine of 4. All right. So I've got 4 successes and an opportunity.
Very nice. How do you want to spend that opportunity?
Ooh. So what I like to do with the opportunity is I want to do this as more effectively and efficiently. More so, I kind of want to show off a little bit of the Rokugani medicine.
That kind of seems like it's more a fire type thing for me. But let me take a look. I mean, maybe it's just the term "show off" is what is kind of
That's
throwing me
fair.
there. But yeah, Let me take a look, see what we might be able to do water wise. So, gregariously, kind of as a way to like show um maybe similarities or different ways of doing things could be a pretty good way of doing it with water.
Or let's do this instead, because medicine is a scholar skill. One things for scholars is spot a unique or identifying quality, aspect, or ability of something you are identifying. In this regard, I kind of want to start seeing if I can make comparisons between my herbs and their poultices and
Oh yeah,
potions.
okay. I think that's an excellent way of spinning it. All right. So you had 4 successes total, which will get you a little something extra. So not only do you kind of put together something that you're pretty sure will help with the imbalance of air within your patient, but should hopefully get him to recover in half the time. And so you make up a kind of um, uh, you kind of brew yourself up a bit of a medicinal tea for Hayate and have him drink that. And you and the doctor, as you're kind of working over Hayate, are kind of pointing out some similarities, but that you have many things in there in your kit that he has never seen, and vice versa. Um, and the this is one of the times where the language barrier is most prevalent, in that it's very hard to discuss kind of elaborate medical knowledge without having a good understanding of each other's language here and usage of words and terms. But you guys are able to point out that, oh yeah, you both have these same similar types of peppercorns that you use for uh, provoking thought and clarity. But that there are seems to be more things that are different or unique amongst you than there are similarities just yet. But that just might be more of a problem of the language barrier right now.
Yeah, we just kind of go back and forth throughout the day and see
Hmm.
how it all goes from there.
Yeah, no, you guys have definitely kind of picked up into a very, very quick and readied interest in each other as you kind of go through all of the different things that are in your pack and what's in his pack and things like that. And it's a bit longer before Rafi comes to check on Hayate and Asil. And Asil kind of turns a bit red when Rafi comes and checks in on the three of you, realizing that he has spent way too much time here with Hayate, going over things with you when he should be over like looking after his other patients as well. And so, taking a bit of time to make sure to uh, pack all of his things back up into his bags, he uh, goes to say goodbye and leaves behind uh, a a small bit of tincture for you to give Hayate kind of over the course of the next couple of hours or days. Uh, you're not exactly sure exactly how much you're supposed to be giving, but it made it seem like a little bit here and there every bit of interval of time. It kind of seemed like with every meal, but there's more than enough here to last you if that's true for days. But perhaps he'll be back sooner than that. And with that, Asil heads over to go see Gin
So we're
and
here
Sonia.
waiting and not sure exactly what to expect.
Right, what to expect after all this time, and it's been taking quite a while. And really, when Asil comes to visit and see you, it's very perfunctory, very kind of quick. mean, both you and Sueno are in good health as well. The doctor offers something in the form of something either to help sleep or help you awake. You have a little bit more, capability with the language. So if you'd like anything kind of from either end of that spectrum, they can give you something to help with that. Um, but overall, it's a very quick
I
examination.
will
Yeah.
ask if he has anything for sunburn.
Oh, absolutely. He produces a small metal, thin metal, I guess tin, with a kind of a cream-like solve inside of it that he dictates that you can put over a sunburn and apply, 2 or 3 times a day to hopefully get rid of any of the redness or even the peeling of the skin.
Perfect.
Yeah. He does have one question for you, and he is curious about your. He had heard that you had stark white hair not long ago, but that now you seem to it seems to have returned. Was it a state of shock, or was it colored before or colored now? He is very curious about it. He kind of spends some time examining your hair, but is during the examination process.
I will say it is traditional for my family to color their hair white, but it is out of place here, and I cannot re-dye it. So
You see him kind of a bit crestfallen at that. He had almost hoped that it had been uh, a reaction to your journeys, or something about stress or trauma that you may have experienced, versus a simple matter of bleaching or dyeing. But kind of is satisfied with your answer. Um, he does spend a bit of time with Sueno, checking out her injured eye, making sure that it is properly cleaned and not infected. And
that bumps
luckily, Sueno has.
Gen's tension up quite a lot as he starts doing that. So Gen as he looks at that, I don't know how Sueno responds, but he goes to that, like, Gen takes a step away and like her fists ball up, and she's like standing very straight, trying not to say anything. But this is definitely an area that causes Gen some serious strife. So I'm willing to take 3.
Let's go ahead and take let's take 3 narrative strife for that then. As he kind of goes through and inspects her injured and lost eye there. But he seems satisfied that she has kept it clean and free of any dust and dirt from the travels through the desert, and it doesn't seem to be infected or causing any additional injury. But Sueno's been living with it for the last few years now. She knows what she's doing when it comes to cleaning it, keeping it clean and dry and all that good stuff.
All right. I think, do I get the void from
yeah.
that too for taking the narrative strife?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. You're right. Yeah. Well, actually, I don't know. I think narrative strife just is narrative strife. I think it requires an anxiety to gain the void point to go along
All
with
right.
it. Yeah, but let me look into that, and I will get back to you on that.
That's fine. It's because Gen is the one who removed the eye.
Oh, you know what? That is true. You are the one that did that. You know what? Because it is so personal right now. I think a void point is probably a good thing to go along with it for now. But yeah, we'll look into that. Maybe that's the cause for a bit of a custom anxiety here.
Okay. I mean, it's not something that would come up
All
very
right.
often, but yes, because Jeanne
Exactly.
had
But when
to
it does,
remove Sueno's eye in the events that followed the tsunami, she's very anxious about anything going wrong with that.
yeah. Mm-hmm. But no, he seems fairly satisfied with it. But yeah, it does strike you as a bit odd that as quickly as uh, your side is going through with things, that it was taking so much longer with Ricci and Hayate. But maybe that had something to do with Hayate's condition and whatnot. But yeah, unless there's anything else with the doctor, Asil will uh, let you know that he is very satisfied with the condition of both you and Sueno, and that he hopes that the salve will help alleviate any of the lingering effects of the being exposed to the elements.
Perfect.
All right, and with that, they will make their leave. He goes, and you can hear he is kind of giving a bit of a report to Rafi as Rafi escorts him away from your chambers in the Amir's estate, and it all seems to be very straightforward. That condition is yada yada yada, is this and that, but it all seems to be fairly standard in that none of you seem to be suffering any major ailments besides Hayate and their um, bit of epilepsy. There are the term that they would use for it. It is kind of maybe even a bit lost on Gen, as much as she has heard uh, things, but that would be kind of a more specialized word, I think, at the moment with your grasp of the language. But
Mm.
you could kind of see where your connection would lose sync there, but be able to plug in. They probably mean that uh, his bit of a fit there and premonition.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, with that, you are all kind of free for the rest of the. Rafi would come back later and let you know that because of the disruption earlier, that tomorrow they'll have the tailor come and take your measurements and go over uh, your outfits for the court, and then the day after that we will go over protocols for meeting with the sultan of the city and the caliph of the Kamaris peoples. All right. It is early the next morning when both Rafi and Jamila rouse you all from your beds, and luckily, thanks to Asil and Ricci's caring for Hayate, even Hayate is able to get up in the morning and able to be present for this fitting, and that you are greeted by um, I would say a woman in her probably early 30s, and Rafi introduces her as Tamira Elmona, a tailor of great renown here within Al Zawira, who has come to craft for you the outfits that you will wear to the Sultan's court.
Excellent.
And she is kind of looking you all over, and makes mention of they're smaller than I thought they'd be. Won't need to worry about too much fabric going to waste. And so yeah, again, you kind of pick up that she's maybe a little less enthused about this project than than she would have hoped. Yeah, she goes ahead and produces with a pair of assistants a series of tapes and patterns and little notebooks, and they start to measure all out from heel to hip and back of neck and arm length and leg and waist, and she kind of even whistles at one point of, "Oh goodness, these people are half starved. They're so thin when they run it across the waistline of each of you there." Um,
I think I'm embarrassed.
yeah, she is definitely a bit of a outspoken and how should we say judgmental sort, or at least willing to speak her mind, both whether positive or not. And some things can definitely be considered to be taken one way, and then immediately on second thought, be like, "Ooh, wait, was that a compliment or not here?" And but yeah, no, they kind of uh get you all measured around every way from wrist and ankle to neck and the roundness of your head and the height, even from the crown to chin. um she just makes like a total mapping of you, and you see that her assistants have kind of a silhouette inside their notebooks that they have drawn, and where they have made note of the measurements that they are using to get ready here. And with that, she then starts to open up some uh, cases that she had brought with her, and you see a dizzying array of fabrics in a multitude of colors, from something rough and rustic and kind of muted colors to some of the lightest, most airy pastel, almost diaphanous or sheer fabric, to silk, but dyed in colors even more vibrant than you would see on some of, like, the highest clan regalia back home, um, to a richness that even it would make a mantis blush with some of the additional um, patterns or brocade that's been applied to some of these fabrics here. Yeah, what's kind of striking your guys' fancy as far as what you might want to wear to the Khalees court?
Obviously, it's got to be something with yellow or gold.
Oh, they have that. They have cloth, pretty much what Gin can translate for you as cloth of gold, which seems to be almost entirely spun of gold thread. Although Tamira is slightly hesitant to drape you in that finery entirely in front of the Caliph, but she finds other fine sandy browns and um, all the way up to like uh, a bright yellow, like might be on the throat of a songbird back home.
Okay.
You even can see um, kind of a rich brown cut in with a gold brocade inlay, which seems to also have caught your eye as something that might be very lion-like.
Oh, okay. You know what?
But
That
feel free to dive through a little deeper if you have any other ideas of what you might want to wear. But unless that's really kind of striking you as something that you'd be interested in.
yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on this one.
Okay.
Neither Ricci nor I have a good sense of fashion, so it's kind of the first thing that we see is that's the one.
That's the one. There you go. I like that idea about Ricci, right? Yeah, he sees something that he likes and is like, no, I like that. Let's go with that. There's others. No, I found what I wanted. The first thing that jumps out is fine with it. It was fine with him.
Yep.
All right. So we have a cloth type for Rishi to begin with. How about for you, Gen? What do you think?
Well, so Gan is looking at blue traditionally anyway as well. And she does see something in a dark blue and black, and she's thinking, okay, I don't necessarily want to be up front. However, because this lady is like thinks I'm so small, she's very eager in draping lots of layers on me. And the first thing that she wants to do, especially after, considering the rumors about what has, I came in with white hair, is to stick a very, very long white veil that would trail along the floor if it was undone and just on my head, but it like gets wrapped around and tucked in the waist and stuff. Kind of held on with a gold circlet. They have like tons more jewelry than in Rokugan. It's like weird, but so they've got a circlet to hold this veil in place, and Gen kind of likes the idea because it would reduce sunburn to have a veil over more of her.
Oh yeah, no, you're used to like veils in like over a wide brimmed hat when traveling out during summer when the mosquitoes would be at their highest. That many highborn women would have something along those lines. You're not so much used to wearing a veil in court, but it could also have its uses if you kind of don't want to stand out so much. Absolutely. But you have definitely noticed that the women here tend to prefer stuff like veils or scarves or things like that they can use as both face and hair wraps.
So she's looking at like a white veil, and then the other thing that's odd is that they have a floor length like dress thing, but they also tend to wear pants underneath them, and for the women too, and the pants are gathered at the ankle, and this is unusual, but she's going with it. And there's loads of embroidery, which is also strange, but it's like more on the trim rather than woven into the fabric or anything like that, or painted or anything like that. So she does her best impression of a dress-up doll for this to try and win favors.
There you go, and lets them kind of go along with it more. Yeah, so she starts to kind of decide that she's going to put you into more of a dress that's a little bit more fitted than you're kind of well, it's both more fitted than you're used to, but also not. I mean, a good tall, stiff obi when properly cinched in will hold you rather tight, but it's definitely holding you in ways than you're used to when it comes to both the stiffness and the cut of the dress that they are going to start to kind of put together for you out of this dark navy blue fabric that they have chosen. And then as far as Ricci goes, yes, they are going to provide you with probably some linen pants to go along with it, and then it is going to be fundamentally a large loose tunic, and they kind of start to try and piece together different complementary colors that might go well with a sash or belt, and even some sort of head covering for you. So they're kind of trying to hold up different colors and different fabrics to go along with this brown and gold brocade.
Okay.
Anything that you think you might choose one over the other? Would you want to throw some more yellow into it? Some they hold up some orange at first that seems to kind of go well with the brown, or do you want to kind of go with something a little bit more dashing, like a blue or even a green?
So when the blue is first shown off, Ricci obviously just like no, not all, and kind of waves his hand, and then after a second just kind of thinks about it and says, yeah, go ahead and bring me the blue. Kind of thinking back on the idea that we want to make Ricci the kind of the center of court, the darling of the court, if you will, and the more flashy, the better, I guess.
All right, all right. This will be an interesting question for you. Do you want something more in the kind of cool blue, or do you want to go a little bit more warm with the kind of with a kind of a purple hue to it?
Ooh, oh, we'll go with the purple side.
With the purple side. All right, so it's really going to show off against that yellow, which will be really interesting. So yeah, kind of a warm blue. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of evoking like two thoughts here. Is one, it's like yes, it's kind of a little bit more of a showy kind of thing, so I guess that's what we want. Two, I won't admit it, but if I don't have to wear crane colors, I will avoid that if I
And you'll
possibly
wear
can.
unicorn.
There you go. Even if it does fall in line with unicorn, as long as that's fine with you, then we will go with it. Yeah.
Unicorn, I'm well, Can I get a darker purple then?
So yeah, they go ahead and they get you with this very blue violet, very deep dark purple shade that is gonna go off well. And they kind of drape that about your shoulders and wrap it around your head in a variety of ways till they're kind of happy with it. And then they start to kind of bunch and gather it and tie cord around it and make you a bit of a head covering and kind of scarf to go along with it with the colors there. I like it. And so Gen has got her blue.
I'm gonna ask Sweno to go in green, and I'm gonna have much enjoyment of putting Sweno in as many jewels and stuff as I am wearing.
There you go. Excellent. All right, so she's gonna go in a bit of a green, um, and Hayate is also just kind of like kind of says kind of wants to go along with that green too, and so some of the people in the court are like, oh, are they related, or are they a couple? Like Jamila kind of starts teasing the two of them a little bit about that as they start to kind of dress them up in very similar kind of shades. They look towards a very dark green for Hayate with some brown trousers, and he's very simple to go with a kind of brown head wrap to go along to match him top and bottom. I'm not sure what kind of green you might see Sueno being dressed up in as you're kind of working with her.
A more medium kind of green, not super dark, just same hue as a medium green with just like a little brown.
Yeah, with a little bit of brown. All right, I like it. Yeah, we will definitely go with that. Kind of this sweet leaf or willow could be a good description of that. Yeah. So yeah, we'll go with a nice willow green kind of idea for her, which kind of lends itself to a bit of a kind of a lemonly yellow veil that they've kind of put together for her there. Yeah, that sounds like you guys have the starts to a couple of outfits. You are busy, trying to find the uh, just the right kind of necklace to adorn uh, Sueno with something large and gold and just gaudy, something that even Yoritomo might pause to grace his wife with at an imperial court, when all of a sudden Sueno stops and says, just hold on a moment. And she goes and she runs back to your guys' room and comes back out with the lapis pendant that you had found
That would
uh,
go.
earlier. And yeah, and she decides that she wants to find a way to work that onto your dress, whether it's trying to find a bit of chain to wrap it around, to hang it around your neck, or find a way to apply it as a brooch or something like that. And yeah, after a while, it's you guys are kind of now descending into the different piles of jewelry and adornments and whatnot. There, yeah, they have definitely a lot more to do with ways of adorning the body with jewelry versus Rokugan, which seems to go for more hair ornaments than these people go for. Though they do seem to have a tradition of combs and whatnot to put in one's hair, but they are just still fairly different than you're used to at home.
So yes, Sueno, in there they can find a chain, and Gen will put the pendant on a chain and wear it, because why not, apparently.
Yeah. After a while, they start to take out the pins where they've kind of pinned and kind of tugged the fabric together onto your bodies, and uh, soon some of our assistants are taking chalk or charcoal and taking the measurements and starting to cut out a few panels here and there. And it's late into the night after having just kind of a few two of your daily meals kind of standing around as you're being fitted and set up for things, when the tailor decides that she has had enough for the night, and Tamira claps imperiously, and her assistants start to pack everything back up into the cases that they brought with them. And she says, "We shall work day and night until the day of the court to get these ready for you. So be ready. Do not change one bit from the measurements we took today. They will fit you perfectly." And she kind of, with that said, kind of looks and realizes, yeah, no, maybe these people aren't going to overly indulge like she is afraid that others might, and finally decides that everything is in order. And after a day that you did not think would be as long and exhausting as it would be just to be fitted in new clothing, it certainly was. You don't remember the last time you spent so long being measured and set for things. A kimono is fairly straightforward. It's really just a series of 6 panels that are cut, and it goes together relatively easily. For whatever reason, much of the clothing here is much more precise and fitted in new and interesting ways. But it was still quite an experience, and Sueno is still laughing a bit about some of the comments made today, especially about how tiny Gin is, and how they thought that because they gathered, they for whatever reason were thinking about going with green, that somehow that made them her and Hayate somehow a couple, even though clearly he was looking at the green fit for a fox, and we were looking at greens that were more suitable for a Tonbo or a this. And she starts to have a nothing but delightful fits of giggles over that. Like how could one just automatically assume all shades of green are the same or denote the same?
Well, hopefully it will fit in with this this court fairly well. I have not seen that many, but hopefully it will be appropriate. I wonder what Ricci came up with. I'm very curious.
And Ricci's there talking to Hayate and just being like, "Yeah, so it's brown and purple. I don't know. This is." They kind of just showed me stuff, and I said yes.
Well, again, I'm so much more used to things that are rough and ready to wear, won't tear at a simple snag on a branch or whatnot when moving through the forest. Even our garb for court is not so. I don't know. The fabrics here seem so much thinner. It could be just the weather that is so much drier. I'm not sure. I mean, it's not like Rokugan summers are uh, drastically that much cooler. I mean, so I would guess. I mean, right? I mean, I've still been through some swelteringly hot days, but maybe it's a difference in the humidity. I don't know. Maybe it's just so much drier here. They want something thinner and lighter than I'm used to.
That's what I'm thinking. And mostly I assume it's to cover up the skin from the sun.
There is that. At least they're not having us going about and parading ourselves with bare arms or anything like that.
Yeah, at least we've got that going for us.
I mean, I've definitely seen some of the, or at least depictions of art of those in the Ivory Kingdoms, and it's once again a totally different style of clothing that they have there. But then again, those they also have, you know, their deities done up with blue skin and 6 arms. So I'm not so sure how much to take as truth or not in those fanciful works that I've seen.
Well, that I couldn't tell you. I really didn't study terribly too much on anyone outside of Rokugan. So I don't get the feeling that this is all religious in nature, but it could be. I'm not entirely certain.
All right. Well, I mean, at least that's done for. From here on out, it's what just learning how to bow and not say anything. I mean, protocol's protocol. One hopes it's uh, the same as meeting with a champion or even one of the Imperials.
That's kind of how I've gotten the feeling for it as well. Speaking of which, Gin has come up with the idea that I'm supposed to be the one that's kind of shining through.
Oh,
I think this is a terrible idea, but it's the best one we've got, so here we go.
well, that brown and purple outfit that you were working on will probably definitely net you quite a bit of attention then.
That is probably very true.
I'm Robert, or Bayoshi Shinichi, your host and narrator, thanking you once again for listening. Remember to catch new episodes every Monday. If you want to catch them early or are looking for more bonus content, please consider becoming a supporting member of the Patreon at patreon.com/courtgames.
I am Tyler, and I've been playing Akoto Ricci. You can find me on my personal accounts on Twitter at ChurcherGames or on Twitch, also as ChurcherGames. You can find the show on the web at CourtGamesPod.com, on social media platforms such as Facebook and Instagram under Fortune and Strife, and on Twitter at L5RFNS. If you would like to contact us, you can email the show at fortuneandstrife@gmail.com.
This is Jeanne, aka Kakita Kaori, and also known as, at least today, Doji Gen. You can find me at my blog at the Winter Garden of the Kakita website, along with helpful materials for the RPG, and also on Twitter at White Veils or on Facebook. If you like, I am also found on the Court Games RPG podcast as a writer for Emerald Legacy, or check out The Table Is Yours for fiction readings of the FFG stories.
This has been Fortune and Strife, a Court Games production in association with D20 Radio Network and the Rokugana Historical Society.
D20 Radio, where gamers roll.
www.d20radio.com.